You're listening to Humans of the Channel Country with Katrina Wills from K Wills Creative. So today I've got Ameya Deshmukh with me. Deshmukh. And we're just doing a little interview today for Humans of the Channel Country, but we're also going to talk about the Blue Tree Project. So how long have you lived in Bedourie?
It's been 2 years now.
Wow.
I came in here just after Easter of 2021, and it's been a great ride since then.
Yeah. And what brought you here? Why Bedourie?
Oh, well, if I have to be very, very honest, it was initially for a job.
Yeah.
But it became a lot more than that ever since I've landed in Bedourie. I was pursuing a Master of Communication for social change from University of Queensland. And I happened to have graduated right in the middle of pandemic, which in a way didn't turn out to be so good.
No.
Because while there was a lot of uncertainty around, one of the biggest uncertainty in my context was to look for a job and actually land one. And as it turned out, I was cruising through a lot of websites and I came through LGAQ. I wasn't sure if I'm going to land a job in local government, but as it turned out, I landed a job with Diamantina Shire Council.
Yeah.
And without even looking up on the maps where Bedourie was located,
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I actually accepted the offer letter out of, I don't know if something like this is ever going to come across, and next thing you know, I was set on a road trip for 2,000 kilometers from Brisbane.
Oh wow. And is Brisbane home, or where's home for you?
So home is originally Mumbai in India, and after pursuing my undergraduation and working for about 2.5 years in an NGO that worked on child rights and education, I decided to pursue communication for social change, because in my observation, communication was that gap that lied between building policies and actually implementing them on ground. And UQ turned out to be the only one university in the Southern Hemisphere that offered this course.
Oh really?
Yeah.
And we've heard a little bit and seen a little bit about you doing the Blue Tree Project. So tell us a little bit about that and how did it come about?
Well, it's actually been an interesting journey again, because when I saw a blue tree for the very first time, I did not actually think that it was going to leave such an immense mark on my memory. I was on my way to Bedourie the very first time, and I took a halt in Longreach for a night.
Oh yeah.
And me and a friend of mine, we decided to do the Thompson cruise. And just on our way to the Thompson River, we sighted a blue tree. And when we asked our tour guide what it was about, they said it was about starting a conversation to raise mental health awareness, which it actually did, because as we know, trees are not naturally blue.
No. And so especially not that real bright, vibrant blue that the blue trees are.
Exactly. And when you see one, you notice one from a long distance. And that idea really stuck with me. But I did not understand the reasoning behind it until I lived in the isolation of outback for 2 years. And I realized that the cause was really meaningful, because when I myself went through this journey of 2 years, there have been days where I have felt alone and helpless, not in a way where I didn't know what to do, but the sheer the understanding of of laying in the sheer magnitude of nothingness.
Yeah.
And that's when I think the idea of of me wanting to do something for the community was born, because every time I felt like that, I've reached out to the community.
Yeah.
And I really hope what we have been able to achieve so far regarding the Blue Tree project at least sparks that conversation with a few people around. And if it reminds someone who's going through a tough time to reach out for help, I think our mission would be a success.
Yes. And there's a little bit more to the Blue Tree project. So in a couple of weeks' time, you are riding a bull.
Yes. Yes, which I'm still in denial about, honestly.
So tell me how that decision came about. Why would you decide to suddenly ride a bull? You sit in an office all day doing paperwork and computer work.
Yes.
You're not out there in the field. You're not on a station where you're riding horses and mustering cattle and working with cattle.
Yeah.
So why ride a bull?
Well, after living here for 2 years, I think I have volunteered, in rodeos and
Yes.
bull and bronc pits a few times, and it has always amazed me the amount of courage and braveness people have to do something like this. But I've also realized that through these events, communities really get a good reason to get together and celebrate their own culture.
Yes.
In one way or the another. Because what we see out here is very different to what we see in the cities, the culture of the outback. And one of the station managers out here from Cameron Downs, her name is Emma Clark, on one random morning of February, I guess, she asked me, she told me about how she was organizing the event, and she asked me if I wanted to ride a bull. And that was obviously a sarcastic question or rhetorical question as well, which the answer should have been a no at once. But as it turned out, I shook my head and I said, yes, why not? Let's do it. Because I don't have a particular bucket list, so it didn't harm for me to add one more thing to it.
Okay. And are you a natural risk taker? Do you do other things that are risky, like jumping out of aeroplanes or...
Well, I've done skydiving.
Okay.
Yes, I've done it, but I would say I wouldn't have dared to do something like this.
No.
But then, when was the last time you have seen a guy from India ride a bull in Australia?
Exactly. In the middle of the desert.
Yes, exactly. I don't think I remember seeing something like this. And that's exactly when I thought that something as unique as this should not just be for the sake of an event, but it should be for us to actually raise awareness and raise awareness for a cause.
Yeah.
And that's when we merged the idea of raising funds through my bull ride for the Blue Tree project.
Yeah.
So
it's fantastic.
yeah, I'm still in denial about this, as I've been saying repeatedly, but I think I'm going to have fun.
Yeah, I think you will.
I will. And I'll take back a big bucket of memories with me.
Yes.
From my 2 years in the outback.
And you have boosted morale around the place since starting the Blue Tree project and the bull ride, which is upcoming.
Yeah.
It's got lots of people talking. Some of those are probably not the most positive comments towards you.
Yeah, I know.
Saying how crazy you are, etc., etc.
Stupid. Stupid would be the word.
But I certainly, as a personal thing, wish you the best and hope that you don't get injured. But I do appreciate the fact that you have started that conversation. And yeah, certainly our small events that we have out here are things that bring the community together and are very important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They are. And yeah, I mean, see, as long as they're starting a conversation, whether positive or negative, I mean, as long as they're helpful, I don't mind a few chuckles about me that I'm doing something like this, which it might be stupid, but I think it's working.
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're right.
Yeah.
And what's your favourite memory of Bedourie and the Channel Country so far?
I think my best memory about Bedourie is actually, again, going. I'm going to rewind a little bit and
Yeah.
speak about when I came here for the very first time.
Yeah.
I had set up from Brisbane at 4 a.m. in the morning to reach Longreach, and we reached about, after traveling 1200 Ks, we reached Longreach, and after 2 days we again set up from Longreach to Bedourie. When we took a diversion from Winton into that very silent, quiet, single lane road,
Yes.
from Winton to Boulia and then onwards to Bedourie, was when actually it hit me how intense and how isolated the outback is.
Yeah.
Before starting this journey, my understanding of Australia and where Australians lived in Australia was not beyond Toowoomba.
Oh, wow.
In the context of Queensland, but as we crossed one town after another, it started becoming more and more real, because the sizes of these little towns started shrinking and growing a little bit, and then shrinking again, and then growing again a little bit, and as it became real, my question about what Bedourie is going to be like became more and more grave to me, because I did not know what to expect. And as it turned out, it was the first week of April, and we reached Bedourie about 6 p.m. in the evening, and it was the most beautiful sight ever. The sun was just setting. As they say in the Instagram word, it was the golden hour.
Yes.
and some galas flying around, and it was nice and green everywhere. We know how hard the town services team works
Yes.
to make the town really nice and presentable and green, and how it is. And as I drove past a few streets, I realized that this is going to be my home for next, I didn't know how many years.
Okay.
It could be a few months, a few years, but I knew that I was going to be happy with how long ever I was going to live in this town. And the realization when it actually struck me about Bedourie, about the fact that Bedourie chose me,
Yeah.
and not the other way around, and the fact that I was going to live here for the next few months or next few years, was when was the memory that was the most memorable for me, because I realized that it's worked out well.
It has.
It has. Yeah. So So I think that the realization was the best one, and apart from that, I guess, if you ask me the second best, I think every moment I spent with any community member,
Yeah.
any colleague or any friend out here has been the most memorable. It seems like it's extremely difficult when I tell my friends and my family out there about where I live.
Yeah.
But that's when I put myself in their shoes. But when I put myself back in my shoes, I actually think it's not been that bad. It's actually been really good out here. I didn't even realize that I was out here in the middle of nowhere for so long.
Yeah.
So I think the sheer spirit of the community is what dissolves that the conscience of
isolation.
Yeah, of isolation, which I
Yeah.
think is great, and that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is a wonderful community.
it is.
Yeah, very welcoming, and a
It
very
is.
pleasant place to live, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Apart from the bugs in summer,
Yes.
but apart from that, I think everything else is my absolute favorite.
Well, thank you very much, Ameya. I can't believe we've just talked for over 14 minutes.
14 minutes, yeah. It didn't feel like that.
No, it didn't. So thank you, and good luck with the bull ride.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing all this. helping with the Blue Tree project, being so present since day one, and helping me put this whole thing together. So really, really thank you so much, Katrina. I really appreciate it.
So it's okay.
Cheers.